This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petronovitch.
And I'm Kelley Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another conversation. As always, I am here with Taylor. Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Great. How was your Halloween?
Oh my gosh, it was so great. I feel like the listeners are probably so annoyed by now because I feel like every episode I'm just like, Halloween this, Halloween that. But now it's over and we can ramp up for the next holidays, I guess, here on the podcast. But it was so good. Our school district and also my youngest daycare, they take the day after Halloween off, so there's no school or anything, which I think is such a great move on like the school district's part because with kids, they're staying up so much later than their bedtime. They're all cracked out on sugar, and I'm sure that was never like a productive day. Like growing up, I remember going to school on Halloween, the day after Halloween, like nothing changed. So it's kind of nice because the kids get to kind of like sleep in and recover that next day. And then since Halloween was on a Thursday, that means there was like that Friday off. So it was just like an extended weekend. So I don't know. I like all the long weekend stuff, especially, I don't know about you, Kelley, but like the fall has just been feeling really, really busy with work stuff. So I feel like taking that time to like rest and recuperate has been really nice. Okay, that was such a long-winded way of saying it was great. How was your Halloween?
It was good. It kind of turned into us hosting a little bit. Last year, we went down to San Diego and did some trick-or-treating at my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's house. But this time, my kids actually don't have the day off the next day. My son goes to private school, and then the daycare that Sloan's at doesn't take the day off. So we just decided we would stay local so we can get to school the next day. And I'm a little bit opposite of you. I dread the long weekends. I think it's just the season of life I'm in with a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 5-month-old. And they just feel so hard. Like the weekends are like, it's just no rest. There's zero rest on those long weekends. So I'm all about no 3-day weekend for us, and staying local. And we just trick-or-treated around our neighborhood. There's like even some fun haunted houses that put it all on for the neighborhood, and it's a fun little crew. So we got together, some family, some friends, we all went around with the little ones, and it was really fun.
Yeah, that's so fun. I feel like there are such core memories being made, and like for me it's so nostalgic just like remembering back to being like the heyday of like elementary school, and I love it all. But as we're kind of wrapping into this like cooler season, I feel like this is a time of transition for so many people. Like we're getting into the holidays. A lot of people's wedding seasons are wrapping up if you're not based in like Florida or Australia. Yeah. So because it's that time of transition, I feel like it's such an amazing time to kind of reflect on how we feel, how we've been doing. I feel like so many of us, I know between just the two of us, Kelley, like when we're go, just inundated with work and it's so busy, it can be so easy to kind of put other things that are equally as important on the back burners, like our own health and wellness. But it's so true, the saying of like health is wealth. You really can't, see any progress in other areas of your life unless you're taking care of yourself. It's like putting the mask on yourself when the airplane is like failing before you like put the mask on others, right? So we're just going to have like this great candid conversation about what we are doing to stay healthy, physically and mentally and emotionally in all the ways. And coming off of this like sugar-filled holiday, I feel like is like the perfect time.
Yeah. Okay, so we're still in our sip and tell series. So we're sipping. Actually, I don't have anything to sip on. What am I doing right now?
Oh, no.
It was a crazy morning, you guys. This morning I texted Taylor, voice memoed her, and I'm like, I'm going to be hopping on right at 9. Like, I actually had a speaking thing last night for a nearby school district. It was called Women in Industry, and it was a panel of 7 women who are like there's a few business owners, there was like a neck surgeon, there was like really cool, impressed someone that works for Google. It was like very impressive and intimidating. But I got home last night and Paul had the kids and the house was just in disarray. And we're hosting a really cool lab for our alumni and our current mastermind students. So I'm having like a guest come over to be filming that for them. And so I'm like, I can't have my house looking like this. So long story long, no sipping on anything. I just realized that. But I am cozy. I'm in like athleisure wear and a hat, and I'm like, why not? Let's just go with it.
Why
Also,
not?
if
I
you
love
like
it.
this sweatshirt and you're watching on YouTube and it's like November, it's at Target right now, and I'm obsessed, and you should go get it.
Oh, I might have to run over there.
It's
It's very
so
cute.
comfortable. Yeah, it's so comfortable.
I love
Okay.
it.
Ways that I'm taking care of myself. Well, I don't know.
I'm not.
I'm actually the worst at this, if I'm being totally honest. But um okay, I am trying to incorporate like more protein in my diet. So I actually did purchase a meal plan from like another busy mom of four. And I'm like right now, like just about 6 months postpartum from having my baby. So I'm like really trying to get back in the flow of like getting in shape and like getting that baby weight off and all that stuff. So I'm trying to up my protein. And that looks like meal prepping for the first time ever. I've never been a big meal prepper, but meal prepping some like shredded chicken and doing smoothies every day and things like that. So I've been feeling really good. I was really surprised at how much like protein really makes a difference.
It makes such a difference, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Like, it can help you retain the muscle mass instead of that being what's lost. You guys, okay, so fun fact, this is very clearly not a wedding industry related topic, but I feel like it's one where wedding industry people need to like hear, right? Because we need to take care of ourselves. So, sorry, we're not talking about weddings today. But okay, so fun fact about me. In my past, like, I don't know, over the last, okay, so we'll start at the beginning. Like in high school, I struggled a little bit with like disordered eating, like a little bit of starvation kind of stuff. And so I have to like be really mindful of that whenever I'm like embarking on a new eating journey, because that's a slippery slope that you can fall back into easily. But um, it's fine now, obviously. But then around the time I met my husband, so that was 12 years ago, I guess, I did paleo for like a year. And when I do something, I'm a very like all or nothing person. Like, I say I'm going to do it, and that day, like, I begin and I do not like deviate at all. It's not like, well, you could just have this one. It's like, no, like, I'm doing it for real. So I did that for a year. And then I want to say maybe after that year, we like went on vacation to like Cabo or something. And I like knew that
You
was
went
kind of the
crazy.
end. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we got engaged like soon. So then like 6 months I was normal, and then like we got engaged, and then for some reason I did like the opposite. Like, I tried the whole like vegan thing, like leading up to our wedding.
Really? Who are
Yes,
you?
I know. Well,
Oh.
I've always loved YouTube. So like that kind of traces back to like my journey of like how I got into the industry. It was like having a YouTube channel. I love watching YouTube, and I feel like so many people are going to know what I'm talking about, but like I stumbled across accounts like Freely the Banana Girl and like all these like raw vegans, and sometimes the information is compelling, you guys. And so I gave it a try. It was not for me. I think I made it like 6 months. Um
Okay, wait, that 6 months though? That's a, like I thought you were gonna be like I made it like 6 days. 6 months?
no.
That's impressive.
Yeah. But I mean, at the time, I wasn't working. I didn't have kids. Like, I literally had like all the time in the world to like devote to what I was eating, which sounds like is very privileged. I understand it was.
Yeah, that's why
But
I or go ahead and then I'll circle back.
okay. So now I'm like trying to adapt this like mindset of like always be ready. Like, I don't ever want to feel like, oh, I have a vacation in 2 months. Like, I want to like hit the gym. Like, I'm like hit the gym and like crash diet. Like, I don't want to feel that way. So I'm just trying to like very much so lifestyle like kind of thing. So we're doing very much so like a no processed food thing. So I'm basically eating eggs, meat, fruit, vegetables. That's it. I've been doing
Okay,
that
so
for a
then
few weeks and it's great.
how come you couldn't do Whole30 with me last year?
Yeah, I wasn't in the right mindset, I guess. I
Yeah,
couldn't
that's a
do it.
big thing.
Honestly,
Taylor
okay, this
failed
is
me
this is
so
the
hard
truth.
last year. Okay.
This is so sad. I really wanted a glass of wine. I was like, I can't do it. I
Oh,
had a stressful day with
yeah.
the kids and I'm like, so that's
No
why.
alcohol for 30 days. I love Whole30. Whole30 is like I've probably done Whole30 like 5 or 6 times. Um, and it's so good. It's so good, you guys. You should look it up. If you want to just like truly change your mindset around food and you feel like things have gotten like a little bit out of hand and you just need to like simplify and go back to the basics and understand that like you really don't need all of the like Chick-fil-A dipping sauces and like all that stuff, like the blue cheese on your salad, like all that stuff. It's so good. And every time I do it, I lose like 8 pounds. So I should do it before our branding session that we're doing next, actually, in like 3 weeks. Shoot, I'm a little behind the curve on that. But yeah, I feel like you definitely, with like your past, you really do have to like be mentally checking in on if it's going to be a healthy route for you. So just as important as it is to work to be in the season looking at your like physical health, your mental health is also very important as well. So don't neglect that either. But I actually have found that when I start with taking care of my physical health, the mental health really follows for me. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
Taylor.
Oh, totally. Yeah. If you are getting 8 hours of sleep a night and you are drinking your water and you are not abusing caffeine too much and eating like real food, I feel like so many problems like with I mean there's real mental health problems, like don't get me wrong, but like I think that it can compound like underlying issues, like if you're already feeling anxious, if you're already maybe prone to like feeling depressed, like I feel like not taking care of yourself like can make that kind of mudslide a little bit more. So I totally feel the same, and I feel like sleep is a big one. I think that I
Yeah.
mean, you have a baby, so like you don't have a choice necessarily at this
Yeah.
time to like
But, I do. I do have a choice. Like, I could put that baby down at 7 and, like, I should put myself down at, like, 8. But a lot of times I make poor choices and I'm, like, deciding to stay up late editing to try to, like, get ahead of work, and then all of a sudden it's 10:30, and then I lay in bed and I scroll on TikTok for 30 minutes, and then it's 11 o'clock, and then the baby's, like, waking up for, like, a midnight feeding, and I just totally, like, self-sabotaged my evening. So, like, I don't have a choice, but then I do. Like, I'm still in control of, like, what I could be doing for myself. So, actually, we had some friends staying with us, um, for the past week, and there was, like, way too many, like, 11 p.m. late night talks, and the day that they left, I was like, "I have to put myself to bed by, like, 8:30." So I did, and, like, I just felt so brand new.
dude, I'm literally a nightly member of the 8:30 bedtime club. Like no shame in the early bedtime game. I feel so great. Everyone, I feel like it was like a few weeks ago and we were talking on the phone and I was like, "Kelly, I just slept for 10 hours and I feel so great." And later you were like, "I was secretly hating you."
It was, like, everything in me to, like, not, like, send you the middle finger emoji. Yeah, but it'll come.
Yeah.
It's just a season. It'll come. I actually, there was a yesterday on that panel that I was talking on, there was a girl next to me with a 3-month-old. So, like, my son is 5 months old, and she's giving her answer, and she's doing really great, but she was stumbling over her words a little bit, and I was just sitting next to her being like, "I feel you so hard," and um she did say, like, "I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm, like, really tongue-tied, and I have a 3-month-old, and I'm not really sleeping very well." And I was like, "I feel you so hard." Like, that is so me, and I feel like there's been so many times where, like, we've been presenting in front of our mastermind students or doing our workshops, and I'm just like, the brain is not firing on all cylinders, and it all comes down to sleep, you know? Like, so if you're someone that really has full control, like, you don't have kids yet, or you do
I
have
mean, I have three
kids.
kids and I have always been like an early to bed person. Like my husband will tell me, he'll tell everyone, he's like, if Taylor can do great with one night of like not great sleep, but if she goes 2 nights, like watch out, like stay out of her way because she is going to be a grumpy monster, and it's true. And so like that's something. So some people need their alone time, some people need to unwind on the couch. I need sleep. Like if I had to choose like scroll TikTok or like go to bed, like I'm going to bed. I have like my perfect little like sleep formula. You guys, steal my sleep formula. It is called blackout curtains. It is called fan on. It is called dead silence with a melatonin on deck and sleepy time tea, ideally. Or I've been loving this like honey chamomile tea, and I am out. And I feel like also this kind of ties into it, but I feel like if you moved your body enough, like exerted enough physical energy that day, you're gonna sleep better too. So I got like an app. I know Kelly cringes, but I got like an Apple Watch in January because I'm like tracking my steps and like trying to get my 15,000 steps in a day, or like between like 12 and 15. It's not always exact. But I feel like that helps me sleep. I feel like if I sat just at my desk all day, I wouldn't sleep as good. So anyway, I feel like all
Yeah.
those things like are like contributors to the healthy mind, which then makes it easier to be healthy. I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
compound effect.
Right. The step count is so important. That's something that I didn't really adopt until like a couple years ago, of getting the steps in. And if you're someone who lives in an area where the winters are a little more brutal and getting outside isn't always feasible, then get a walking pad. Taylor has a walking pad that she loves. I think you said you just got it from Costco.
The desk, so I have like the desk that can go up and down. That's from Costco, and the walking pad was just from Amazon. It's a Deer Run, like DEERRUN, Deer Run walking pad. It was like $130 or something. Like, and it can go up to like 3.8 miles an hour. I walk at like a 3 to 3.5. But I'm tiny, you guys. I'm like 5 feet, so I feel like a 3.8 for like a normal size person is probably just like a regularly paced walk.
Yeah.
um, but I
Yeah.
swear by it. I think it's great. Um, I'm
So my bedtime, you're so funny how you were saying like what your formula was, because it sounds like you're a baby. Like that's
I
exactly
am
how I
such
put
a
my kids
baby.
down. It's like sound machine on, windows, like curtains down, setting the sleepy atmosphere. Um Mine is, yeah, I mean obviously curtains closed. I actually prefer to sleep in silence, but Paul really likes sleeping with like some sort of noise on. So like a fan app, or we have the snoo right now. Like our baby's still right next to us. So like the snoo bassinet actually like puts out a white noise like built into the bassinet. So that's right next to me. So I've just kind of given up on like my quiet, no sound machine, or silence, I guess. And then what I've actually been really liking, I'm a little more crunchy than Taylor. We've talked about this a little bit, not on the podcast, but like between you and me. And so we're sipping and we're telling. So I'm a little more crunchy, and I like using this magnesium lotion. It's really great.
So I've been
It's,
taking magnesium like capsules. I
yeah,
wonder what the
that's good
difference
too.
is. Okay.
Well, my friend who's also semi crunchy, and I don't totally know if this is true, so feel free to fact check me, listeners, but she's actually been doing some research that magnesium is actually best absorbed and implemented in your system when it's absorbed through your skin rather than taking something. So like if you're having digestive issues, like she started using it on her kids because her kids have digestive issues, and she would like rub it on their stomach, and it would like be really helpful. And then you also can put it on the bottom of your feet, and it helps you sleep really well at night. So I love that magnesium lotion. It
Do
smells like a
you
spa.
do it right before bed or
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I put it on right
So
before
it
bed.
happens fast, like it's like quick
It
acting?
I can really like start to feel myself like falling into that just like kind of sleepy zen mode within like
Mm,
10 minutes.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and you don't have to use a
Mm.
lot. Like I feel like it's kind of expensive, but it says to only use like a pea size amount. Like rub it on the bottom of
Oh.
your feet. It's pretty potent actually.
This is not like lathering up.
Not lathering up. It's just like a small little micro dose, if you will.
I might have to go try that. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll send you the
so
link.
Yeah, please do. The ones I take, it's like I get it. We have it's like a more independently owned like grocery store that has like more like organic-y type random stuff. But anyway, they have a great like supplement aisle, but it's these capsules and I have to take 4 of them every day
Wow.
and it feels like a lot to take. Um
Yeah.
and it's, I mean, yeah, so whatever, there's like 60 capsules in there and it's like $50. So it's like that's like a couple bucks a day. I'm like, "Oh geez." Um
Wow. That's a lot. I mean, I guess I'm taking Nutrafol right now for my hair. Like, the hair loss is so
Ooh.
real. I am so bald, you guys. Like, I'm having to now, like, do the middle part, which I'm like, I don't even like the middle part. I know Gen Z loves the middle part, but it just does not work for my face shape. I've tried it. I've given it its time. It doesn't work. But I have to do the middle part a lot of times when I'm postpartum because there's not enough hair, like, to I have to distribute what I have evenly.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah,
hilarious. Oh
I
gosh.
know.
Okay. That's funny. Okay. So, you guys, sleep. Shut your laptops down at a reasonable hour and sleep. I feel like if you're going to survive like the busy season and not go into like a depressive spiral, like get, I don't know, like at least 7 hours. Can we try for that? I feel like 8 might be like too ambitious for some people. But I think 7 is great. And then I think, I mean, I'm huge on routines. So, you guys, if you haven't listened for a while, you may be unaware, but I am far more type A than Kelly. I'm like into lists and like all things control, and Kelly like happily kind of floats through life, and I'm always jealous of her because she can do that and I can't because I'm a psycho. But I'm like a very routine like person. I'm like, my alarm is set at, right now it's set at 5. I wake up, I drink my coffee, I like walk on my walking pad for like 45 minutes, and then I hop in the shower, and then I make breakfast for everybody and I like eat in the morning. That's like my normal routine. And I feel like part of like, for me at least, like feeling mentally healthy is the sense of like control over like what your day looks like. So instead of like being like forced awake by whatever it was, maybe the phone ringing or your kids or whatever it is, and then like having to immediately like start problem solving, like I cannot start my day like that. I am not at my best. Like I feel like I
Mhm.
need that like predictable start. Does that make sense? I don't know. But
Mhm.
with a baby,
Yeah,
obviously, like that's not always
not
possible.
always super possible. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like, I think that when I think I talked about this a few podcast episodes ago, like the realness of my like slight mental breakdown a couple months ago, it really kind of stemmed from like just feeling pulled and like not in control of being able like what I wanted to do. It was like I couldn't even go for a walk if I wanted to because I was like so busy or I needed to feed the baby or the kids need to be picked up from school. It was just like so nuts with work and everything. So, anyways, yeah, it was I think it's good to like recognize where you can keep that control in your life and it's just going to really benefit your mental state for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like especially for those of us who do this full time, like we're not tied to another job or anything like that, and it's basically just like us in our homes all day long, kind of like needing to rely on discipline in order to move the needle. I feel like it's so easy to get into like spirals where you're just kicking things down the road or you're procrastinating heavily. But I feel like having like really great routines is a great way to feel that sense of like, I mean, you guys, how many times can we say the word control on this episode? I don't know, but it's a sense of control instead of just like feeling like you have the freedom to do it whenever, but then you never end up doing it. I don't know. I'm like that. If I feel I'm like a good like work under deadlines kind of person, that like pressure like helps me. But I don't feel like it's good to like live like that forever. But I feel like if you're in the routine of like, here's how I wake up, here's how I exercise, and then I sit down at my desk and the first thing that I do is check my emails, and then I do my Instagram engagement, and then I plan out my next social media post, and then I spend 3 hours editing or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? I feel like that like step by step like kind of way to go about your day for me personally like helps my mental health. Um if I feel like I have to tackle all of the things on my to-do list on a single day, I will literally not do any of it, and I'll go sit on my couch and like watch Netflix instead and like
Hit freeze. You'll go in that freeze
yeah,
mode. Yeah,
I totally do.
flight or
Yeah.
freeze. Um, it's really important, you guys, to not set yourself up for failure with your to-do lists. I actually, for how type B I am, I do love a to-do list, and um I write out my week every Sunday. Like that's like kind of I'm not like the biggest routine person, but that's like something that I will do. And make sure that you're not overloading yourself with more than 3 big tasks a day. If you overload yourself with more than 3 big tasks a day, you're just going to set yourself up for failure, and you're going to kind of get into that fight, flight, or freeze mode. So, just remember that as you're like planning out your week or your day with the to-do list, like have 3 big tasks that you need to complete. And then from there on, like everything else is kind of like your bonus or something that doesn't take like much brain power.
Or something that's like fun for you. Like for me, anything having to do with like tweaking websites or like doing that kind of thing. Like, so maybe your big tasks are like finish editing this wedding, send off the gallery or film, and respond to this proposal inquiry, like whatever. You know what I mean? So maybe you like knock all those out and you're like, cool, now I have time to like update my portfolio. That's so fun to me. Or I don't know, what else is fun to normal people?
Well, I love color grading. So, like, for me, I also prioritize what's going to. Okay, wait, this was actually a really good takeaway. Last night on the panel that I was talking on, one of the rapid fire questions was, what would you give a high school student? What's the advice you would give a high school student on something that they need to learn after graduation very quickly? And so this one girl said time management. And I was like, that's really perfect because, like, I feel like a lot of people in our industry, like, struggle with time management. If you're listening and you're like, yep, that's me, like, maybe your hand is raised in the car or you're on your walk and you're like, yep, that's me. Um, that's something that is huge in the success of our business is time management. And she said growing up that her dad would always say, if your job is something you have to do every single day. So he was kind of a funny thing. It was if your job is to eat a frog every single day. I know, right? I was like, that's a weird thing, but this is what she said. If your job is to eat a frog every single day, do it first thing when you wake up. If you know that it's something that you have to do every single day, do it when if it's first thing when you wake up. If your job is to eat 2 frogs a day and one is bigger and one is smaller, eat the bigger one first to get it out of the way and then like eat the second one next. But basically what you're like dying over this analogy. I know it's kind of a funny analogy, but basically what it all comes down to it is whatever the bigger task is for that day, whatever is going to take the most brain power or something that you maybe just like don't really want to do, tackle that first or else you're probably not going to get to it the rest of the day. And then check off, like it might feel like you want to be like, oh, let me get these easy things out of the way first. And, it's kind of the same thing too, Taylor, like you're a big numbers person. So I think it's maybe Dave Ramsey, or I don't know if it's someone else who's like in the financial world that like whatever your biggest debt is, you need to like tackle that, right?
So Dave Ramsey is opposite. He
Oh,
calls
opposite,
it
the
the
small
debt
little
snowball.
ones.
Yes, he
Yeah.
wants you to like build momentum and like get that like dopamine hit of like getting them out of the way. And there, I feel like in the financial world, there's like so many ways. It's like you could do based off of like interest rate, based off like balance, based off of like term, like whatever, you know what I mean? But I totally get it. And I can actually insert myself into your frog eating analogy because I am sitting on a wedding okay, so today's Thursday, like when we're recording this, and I want to deliver this film on Saturday morning.
Me too. I have one of these too.
But I don't want to do it. The bride wants it like a music video style with like no audio at all. And that's just not something I generally do or enjoy doing. Like that's a hard edit for me to like make it feel emotional without like dialogue basically. So I've been like literally every day this week just like finding all the like little tasks that I need to do and being like, okay, I'll do this last. And then literally I haven't really gotten to it. And so here we are on Thursday and I'm like, oh no, I do not do late nights, but I will if I have to. And I feel like tonight's going to be a late night because I'm going to have to knock out this edit and I'm kicking or shooting myself in the foot.
But it just makes it so much harder when it's a task that you have to do like after the kids go to bed or at night. And actually before kids, you guys. So if you're someone that listens and doesn't have kids and you edit till like 3 a.m., that was my life for like 9 years. Like Paul and I started our business in 2010. We didn't have our first kid until 2009 or 2019. So like 9 solid years of like free for all, doing all the fun things, kid free. And like we would totally like spend the whole day doing fun stuff. And then we'd like sit down to start editing at like 8 p.m. and edit from like 8 to 2 in the morning, or yeah, 8 p.m. to like 2 in the morning, and then like go to bed and sleep till 10. That might be your reality too. But like now with kids, the brain load that it just takes to negotiate with these little negotiators all day, every day. Like Paul and I, we actually were talking before I hit record, and he was like, okay, here's some things I need to do. But like, I actually need to prep our like Q3 taxes for our CPA because he has a meeting with him next week. And he's like, and that's something I can do. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to like sit down and like sit with Excel and like do like work through the taxes stuff. So think about what's going to take a majority of your brain power and tackle that when your brain is most fresh. For me, like I could still like Paul really needs me to color grade this corporate film that we have, and I'm like, I would love to get to that after the kids go to bed because I could totally like bring my laptop, color grade while I'm like watching a show, and it's like very little brain power for me. So just kind of also prior to keep that in mind of like prioritize what you have going on in your day and how much brain power you have left, and then implement the tasks that you have with the brain power that you need to be able to complete that task.
Yeah, it is like definitely a finite resource that's like it's like watching the battery get drained at the end of the day. Like, and I actually heard something where willpower is really similar. So if like you need to like use your willpower to do whatever it may be, you're at your strongest at the beginning of the day and at your lowest and you're most likely to like slip from whatever it is that you've been resisting all day at night. So like putting in place like mechanisms to like not put yourself in positions where you have to use the very little willpower that you have. So it's kind of the same thing. It's like don't put yourself in a position where you need to do like a big brain power task at the end of the day when your brain power is maybe gone by then. So that's where like I'm like I would way rather wake up at 3:30 in the morning or 4 in the morning to like get these things done before like my day starts, because then it's like I mean, the dopamine rush at the beginning of the day is great when like you're checking that little thing off your to-do list, but I feel like I have like the most like mental clarity in the morning. Maybe it's the caffeine on deck too, who knows.
Yeah. So, so good. Okay, Taylor, we've been
Oh
chatting and
yeah.
yapping for a while,
Whoops.
so it's fine. Let's give maybe the listeners something to implement this week to make a difference in their health journey or their mental health journey.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like right now, so it's beginning of November. I feel like so many people right now are doing two things. You're wrapping up this wedding season, but like also setting goals and looking to the 2025 season. And I feel like right now is a really great time to think about your life as like you're a whole person. You're not just your business. And when you go to like set goals, whether that be for the day, for the week, for the month, for next year, I want you to like set a health related goal and give it the same amount of like love and attention as you would your business goals. So, and it could be anything, like not everyone's trying to like lose weight or whatever it may be. Maybe you want to, yeah, get more steps in or get your sleep or cut out maybe you like drink way too many Red Bulls a day or whatever it may be, or you want to make sure you protect your mental health and like instead of sitting alone by yourself all day long, like you want to make sure you like talk to a friend like for 20 minutes a week, or you know what I mean, whatever. We're social creatures, right? We need that. So I would say like for every like business goal, set like a health, physical or mental health related goal and like pursue it with equal fervor.
I like it. No, it's
Yeah.
good. We can we talk a lot about setting goals for our business, but yeah, don't forget to set goals for yourself too. So maybe that's to get 10,000 steps a day, starting this month. Or maybe it's like, I don't know, just like also make sure that the goals are like, I like breaking up my goals. So it's like stepping stones towards my goals. So for example, we talked about like losing the baby weight. I would love to lose like 15 pounds, but that number feels like pretty far away and big to me. So like, what if it was like this month, I would like to lose 3 pounds. And then next month, I want to lose 3 pounds. And like just kind of like breaking it up in that way to where it feels more bite sized and attainable. So, whatever your goals may um, be sure maybe it's you want to get more protein in your diet. And make sure that you're, I don't know, not like setting yourself up for too much where you're never going to do it, if
Yeah, if
that
you
makes
bite off
sense.
more than you can chew, then you're just
That's what
gonna
I was
like literally
Yes,
not
that's
do
what I
it.
meant to that's what I was trying to say. Bite off more you can chew.
Totally.
But yeah. All right.
Yeah. I also really quickly, just like as a last minute thing, I like to try to. It's so easy to like focus on like the outcome of the goal that we're setting, but I think it's actually better to focus on the inputs. So, for example, let's say your goal for 2025. Let's talk weddings. Let's say your goal for 2025 is to book 15 weddings at whatever your starting price is. 8,000, I don't know, whatever it is. Like you could obsess over that goal, but it's not going to get there. Like you have to think about what the inputs are. Like, okay, well, every week I have to post to social media this many times. Every week I have to engage with this many people on social media for this many minutes or whatever it may be. Like those inputs are in our control, and I feel like it's easier to control those things. So like for the health thing, like the inputs for the walk is like instead of focusing on 10,000 steps a day, it's like, well, no, I need to go on 4 little 15-minute short walks, and like that'll get me to my goal like throughout the day, and like set timers on your phone. So like it's all about the inputs, guys. Like the end result doesn't matter as much, I feel like, as like the effort that you're putting in. Does that make sense?
Very
I don't know
true.
if it does.
Yeah, that's very true. I love it. I think that's great advice. All right, guys. We're sending you off with these little things. I hope you guys do it. I hope you guys are liking this series. We have a few more weeks of it, and we'll be splicing in some guests along the way. So I hope you guys finish strong on your wedding seasons. We're almost there. The finish line is in sight for 2024. Now, how is 2025 going to be a different year? We are so excited to continually be in communication with you guys, either on our Facebook group or on Instagram. We love a DM. We love a mention on your stories of what episode that you're currently listening to. Keep that line of communication open between you and us, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.